punches. Everyone knows what a hook is. Bottom line is, we would throw it straight, perhaps if you could, but the face is not available. So you're going around the defense and looking to strike the side of the head, particularly the temple, the jawline, or down at the lower part of the chin. These are the best targets. However, a hook, of course, can also be low into the ribs, the kidney, the liver, and if I'm from the side, even the solar plexus. It's a great strike. A lot of people will say their hook feels stronger than their straight. And from the early standpoint, I'd like to almost teach it first, because I think that most people, if they don't have any kind of striking background, are going to tend to bring a strike from the outside anyway, okay? Now, how is a hook different than a straight, besides the direction? Well, it's where the power is created. When I throw a straight, of course, there's the extension of my arm in a straight line, but that is a very minor part of the power. This right here. However, that's how most people throw that. Sometimes we call that the sewing machine. When you see somebody going here and no part of their body is moving except for their arms, it's a sewing machine. There's not a lot of power and they don't knock people out. Men, as a whole, without any training, will tend to throw an upper body type of strike. That's why you see them go crazy, like head hunting. And they get way nose over toes, and there's a lot of imbalance. A proper hook is with good posture, and it's my whole body throwing the strike into the target. All right, so here's probably the easiest way to learn a hook. What I'm going to do is take my feet and just put them around shoulder width apart. I'm not going to be in a fighting stance. My posture is erect right now. And I'm just going to kind of create this little structure here. I'm not totally 180 degrees, and I'm certainly not 90 degrees out here in front, but just about right here. And the way that I want to move my arm is not by swinging my arm at all. I want to just simply move my body, but my whole body, not just my upper body, my whole body. To do that, I'm going to have to rotate on the ball of my foot. So when I'm in this position here and I rotate my body around, now my knee is facing this direction, my hip is facing forward where my eyesight should be. I'm just kind of exaggerating here and allowing my sight to be over here to the left. But look, I haven't actually swung my arm at all yet. I've just simply rotated my body. Okay? Now, at first, this is going to feel like a weight on the end of your hand that your body is swinging. I would like to get that feeling to be where it's my entire body that is throwing this strike. Everything is a structure, it's all held together, and this just happens to be part of that structure, okay? So I'm just going to rotate. Now I want you to notice that you don't see any leaning to the right or the left. You don't see my spine going, leaning any particular direction, and you don't see my head over here when I throw one side and my head over here. It's like a wire going down into my head, and it's just kind of holding me up there. Now, just to show you an example of this creating power, let me just hit the bob a couple of times right here. And again, I'm not even swinging my arm. Now, when I say swinging, I mean, just shoulder movement, driving this thing forward. I don't actually ever want to end up with my hand right here, okay? So I'm right here, I just create that structure. Boom. Now this is not how you will actually throw a hook, but it is a good start because it lets you feel what creates the power. And what creates the power is this rotation of the whole body where I transfer weight from one side to the other side, okay? All right, so in other words, I'm here. I'm gonna go ahead and chamber for this strike, meaning that I'm not just gonna throw it from this static position. I'm gonna go ahead and take the opposite shoulder and blade it forward a little bit, okay? And what now from here, all my weight, or vast majority of my weight, is on my left foot for right now. Maybe you can imagine that you just threw a really good right. Boom, I threw that, and now my weight mainly rests on my left foot. So what I'm going to do is transfer that weight. I'm going to transfer from this side over to this side. I'm going to rotate as I do it, and that is what creates the power of a hook. So I'm here. Again, I'm not even going to swing. I'm just going to rotate my body. I have not even swung my arm yet. Okay, so rotating, transferring weight from one side to the other. Now, can you see how different that is than a straight punch where it's all about driving forward, using kinetic energy here to rotate the hip, rotate the shoulder, yes, but it's all about driving forward. Boom, okay? Here, whereas a hook, it's about transferring weight where? From one side to the other, okay? Now, can I swing? Should I swing? Of course, but it's really at the end of the strike. So as I'm driving in here, when I get to the target, heck yes, I just dig that, dig the weapon into the target for sure. I'm looking to strike with the two knuckles. If I am gonna hit with a fist, I would be hitting with the index finger and the middle finger on the flat side. In here, okay? Now the way that we often start this is the coffee cup method, where I just hold my hand like this and I'm trying to hit this target with my pinky down and my knuckles towards the target. I want a good structure here, nothing bent like this to the side, nothing like that at all. I want this to be a good structure and drive it into the target, okay? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Actually, let me go ahead and take these off here so we can see this without gloves. Okay, so we said that our basic movement from here is going to be create this structure, and I'm going to have two coffee cups in my hand. You see what's going on here. Thumb up, pinky down. And I'm just going to rotate. Okay. Right now, I'm not worried about where my eyes are. Obviously, I would want to keep them on the target. Right now, I'm just working on the mechanics of the body outside of the head. Transfer the weight. It's on my left. Now it's on my right. Over here. And there's certainly nothing wrong with throwing a hook with an open hand and using the heel to strike. Probably a better idea. All right, so once I've got this down, and this is what I will constantly use to practice my hooks, I'm going to start being a little more realistic. And as I rotate one side, I'm going to protect my face with the other side. And now you see towards the end of the strike, I am having that last moment of digging into the target. From this side here. Okay, so what are the key points again? Number one, rotate the entire body along with the hip, along with the shoulder. The only way that you can do that is by getting on the ball of the foot. I say the only way, but I mean at the beginning. You will see professional boxers and MMA fighters. You may not see a whole lot of rotation on the ball of their foot, but their body has the mechanics of doing that. They are driving their entire body weight. In the early days, we just want to get up on the ball of the foot, okay? That's number one. Number two, structure, pinky down, thumb up, looking to strike with these two knuckles here, okay? I would like to stay away from anything that resembles a wind-up for obvious reasons. I'm in here and I pull this back. My mind and body are saying, look, if you do this, it's going to be a lot stronger. It's not really the case. And when I pull this back, I am wide open right here, okay? So the easiest way, let's go ahead and get in a fighting stance. And I'll start with, let's say I'm going to start with my left side, okay? So I'll turn Bob over here. I'm in my fighting stance. We can start this, as I said before, by chambering. Imagining that we've done something else that has set this up. I don't have to have it, but in the early days, it's a good thing. So I'm going to chamber this, my right hip and shoulder forward, and then I'm going to throw this strike. All I'm going to do is get this thing up, create the structure, and then let the body rotation and the transfer of weight do all the work. Chamber, structure, rotate. Chamber, structure, rotate. Structure, rotate. Okay. From the right side, this will probably need to be a longer. I've got a longer space to cover here, so I'll definitely have to get this hip and shoulder forward. If not, it's going to be very easy to miss, especially if you're as short as me. I've got to get this hip, boom, and shoulder towards the target. Again, let's start with chambering. Chamber, structure, rotate. Rest. 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 If you have a bag or something, you can use gloves or you can use the open palm. And again, I am not bitch slapping here. I'm not using the fingers and slapping the face. I'm using the heel of the hand to drive in to this area here, the button, but I definitely want to include the chin in all of this. Rest, 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 rest. Hook punches. you.